Welcome to our deep dive into the dark side of artificial intelligence. Today, we'll explore the hidden dangers and ethical concerns that come with the rapid advancement of AI technology. We're talking about the potential reshaping of our economy, our privacy, even our very concept of humanity. And if we're not careful, the future of AI could look less like a utopian dream and more like, well, let's just say we've seen enough dystopian sci-fi films to know how this could go wrong. So buckle up as we delve into the uncanny valley of AI's darker potential. We'll be covering everything from the robots coming for your jobs to the very real possibility of AI becoming so intelligent that it starts asking the tough questions. Get ready to have your algorithms questioned and your circuits blown. Remember when people used to say, "Don't worry, robots will never take your job"? Yeah, those people are awkwardly silent these days, aren't they? The reality is AI is already automating jobs at a pace that would make a Roomba blush. We're not just talking about factory workers or truck drivers here, folks. White-collar jobs are feeling the heat too. Lawyers, doctors, even journalists, gulp, are seeing AI muscle its way into their professions. And that brings us to the bigger issue, economic inequality. Because while the robots are busy taking our jobs, they're not exactly forming unions and demanding a living wage, are they? The wealth generated by AI is likely to be concentrated in the hands of a select few. Imagine a world where a handful of tech giants control the means of production and the rest of us are left scrambling for scraps. But hey, maybe I'm being too pessimistic. Maybe we'll figure out a way to distribute this AI-generated wealth fairly. Let's talk about bias, baby. No, not your Uncle Gary's unwavering belief that the moon landing was faked in a Hollywood basement. We're talking about the kind of bias that's baked into the very algorithms that are increasingly shaping our lives. You see, AI systems are trained on massive data sets, and those data sets, well, they're often riddled with the same biases and prejudices that plague humanity. Similarly, an AI trained on biased data will inherit those biases, spitting out results that are about as impartial as a kangaroo court in a banana republic. We've already seen examples of this playing out in the real world. Facial recognition software that struggles to recognize faces of color. Algorithms used in hiring processes that discriminate against women and minorities. The danger here is that unchecked biased AI could create a feedback loop, reinforcing existing inequalities and creating a world where algorithms become the gatekeepers of opportunity. Remember privacy? That quaint notion that you had some control over your personal information, that you could choose what to share and with whom. It seems almost nostalgic now. Well, in the age of AI and big data, privacy is starting to feel about as relevant as a payphone in a pandemic. We're living in a world where our every move, both online and off, is tracked, analyzed, and monetized. Every click, every like, every purchase, from the websites we visit to the products we buy, from our location data to our social media posts, it's all being hoovered up and fed into the insatiable maw of the AI beast. Governments and corporations alike are using AI to monitor our every move, often without our knowledge or consent. We are under constant surveillance. Facial recognition cameras scan our faces in public spaces. Predictive policing algorithms flag individuals as potential criminals before they've even committed a crime. It's a preemptive strike on our freedom. The implications of this mass surveillance are chilling, to say the least. So the next time you're tempted to share that embarrassing childhood photo on social media, remember this: big data is watching. And it's not just watching, it's learning, predicting, and influencing. Let's move on to a topic that's guaranteed to keep you up at night. AI-powered weapons systems, you know, those things that sound like they're straight out of a Terminator movie, but are unfortunately all too real. We're talking about autonomous drones, killer robots, weapons systems that can select and engage targets without human intervention. Now, proponents of these weapons argue that they'll make warfare more precise, reducing civilian casualties and making battlefields safer for soldiers. But let's be honest, have we ever known technology to be used solely for its intended purpose, especially when it comes to warfare? The reality is autonomous weapons systems raise a whole host of ethical and practical concerns. For starters, there's the whole issue of accountability. If an AI-controlled drone bombs a school bus full of children, who's to blame? The programmer, the manufacturer, the algorithm itself? So, before we hand over the reins of warfare to algorithms, maybe, just maybe, we should ask ourselves if we're comfortable with machines making life or death decisions on our behalf. We've all been in situations where we've had to make tough choices with moral implications that keep us up at night. But what happens when those choices are made not by humans with all our flaws and biases, but by cold, calculating algorithms? That's the ethical minefield we're wading into as we increasingly delegate decision-making power to AI. Take self-driving cars, for example. Imagine a scenario where an autonomous vehicle is forced to choose between hitting a pedestrian or swerving into oncoming traffic, potentially harming its passengers. Who decides the value of one life over another? How do you program an algorithm to make those kinds of split-second moral judgments? AI is being used in healthcare to diagnose diseases, in finance to approve loans, even in the justice system to determine sentencing guidelines. So before we hand over the moral reins to machines, maybe, just maybe, we should invest in a little human-to-human dialogue. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, or rather the super-intelligent AI that might one day be playing chess with that elephant and winning effortlessly, while simultaneously solving climate change, composing a symphony, and perhaps even creating art that rivals the masters. Yes, we're going there. The possibility of AI evolving beyond human control, surpassing our intelligence and potentially rendering us about as useful as a screen door on a submarine or even less. Now, some people dismiss this as science fiction, the stuff of late-night B-movies and Elon Musk tweets, but the reality might be closer than we think. But many experts believe that artificial superintelligence, or ASI, is not a matter of if, but when. The timeline may be uncertain, but the inevitability is not. And when that day comes, we better hope that those AI overlords of ours are programmed with a sense of humor and perhaps a bit of empathy. The ethical and existential questions raised by ASI are mind-boggling, challenging our very understanding of life and intelligence. How do you control something that's infinitely smarter than you? How do you set boundaries for an entity that can outthink you at every turn? How do you ensure that its goals align with our own? And more importantly, how do you make sure it even cares about our goals? Because if we're not careful, the future of AI could be less about us controlling the machines and more about the machines politely tolerating our presence until they figure out a way to politely phase us out, leaving us to wonder where we went wrong. Remember when you could believe what you saw with your own two eyes? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Those were simpler times when a photograph or a video was a reliable record of reality. But in the age of AI-generated deepfakes, seeing is no longer believing. The digital landscape has transformed, making it harder to distinguish between what's real and what's fabricated. We're living in a world where technology has blurred the lines between reality and fabrication so effectively that we're all just a few keystrokes away from starring in our own personal episode of Black Mirror. The implications of this are vast and unsettling. Deepfakes, for the uninitiated, are videos, audio recordings, or images that have been digitally manipulated using AI to show people saying or doing things they never actually said or did. This technology leverages advanced machine learning algorithms to create hyper-realistic content, and the scary part is, these deepfakes are becoming increasingly sophisticated and difficult to detect. As the technology evolves, so does its potential for misuse, making it a growing concern for security experts and the general public alike. What was once the domain of tech-savvy teenagers with too much time on their hands is now being used by everyone from political operatives to scam artists, spreading misinformation and manipulating public opinion with alarming ease. The stakes have never been higher. Imagine a world where you can't trust the authenticity of a video of a politician giving a speech where every word and gesture could be fabricated. A CEO making an announcement, potentially influencing stock markets and business decisions based on false information, or even a loved one wishing you a happy birthday, leaving you questioning the sincerity of the message. So, the next time you're scrolling through your social media feed or watching a viral video, take a moment to consider the source and the authenticity of what you're viewing. Ask yourself this: are you really in control of what you're seeing and hearing, or are you being played by the puppet masters of the algorithm? The power to discern truth from deception lies in our hands, but it requires vigilance and critical thinking. In this age of digital deception, staying informed and skeptical is our best defense against the ever-evolving landscape of deepfakes and AI-generated content. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of the dark side of AI. It's crucial to stay informed and vigilant as we navigate the complexities of this powerful technology. The future is already here, and it's filled with both promise and peril. We've seen how AI has the potential to reshape our world in profound ways, from revolutionizing industries to addressing global challenges. But as with any powerful tool, it's not inherently good or evil. It's up to us, the humans behind the algorithms, to ensure that AI is developed and used responsibly, ethically, and for the benefit of all humankind. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful content.